Jeff Neubauer, yes. Yeah,
Assistant you are, what do you know about him?
I've known Jeff for a long time. He was a top assistant at University of Richmond under Coach Beeline about 10, 12 years ago, or 12. I was an operations guy at Dayton under Oliver Purnell, and Richmond was just coming into the league, the Atlantic 10. And I don't think he knew me then, but I knew him, and just always was impressed by his ability as a coach. And then I got to know him when I was at Akron as an assistant coach a few years later, and just always ran into each other on the road. We talked a lot on the road about evaluating players and about just different ways to approach the game of basketball. He's a really, really good basketball coach.
He talked back in '98 when he was at UR. One of his dreams was to become a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that was one of your dreams as well. Is it a tough dream to realize, I guess, with all the competition, and what do you have to go through to be a head coach?
Well, I think that's the goal of most people in this business when they get into coaching is to become a head coach. Now, when I was at Clemson, I changed my goal from just getting a head coaching job to being a successful head coach. I think that's you got to be careful what you're striving for, but I think when all of us get into this business, for most of us, there's a pretty low-level understanding what it's going to take and what goes into being a head coach or getting a head coaching job. I was just fortunate to be around some great people that have helped me a lot along the way.
Coach, has there been anything substantial that you've changed the last two games, or is this just the natural progression of improvement that you expected this team to make? Because it seemed like the last two games you've come out and played more like your fans are used to seeing.
I think we made some improvement last week. Last week was an important time for us coming off of the Puerto Rico trip. We definitely made some gains in practice. We made some gains off the court in terms of some of our players understanding what we're trying to do and what their role is in that. But it's early December. We still have a lot of progress to make. I think there was parts of the Belmont game where we played like we want to play, but there was other parts like the beginning where they really had us on our heels. So, this time of year, very few teams are putting together full 40-minute efforts of terrific, sustained, high-level basketball. But that's what we want to work towards because when we play really good teams, we're going to have to be at that or close to that.
Coach, for you guys to get those two wins and get some momentum back, going into this week, can you just talk about how big that was to be able to come off Puerto Rico with two straight wins?
Well, those are two good teams we played in Northeastern and Belmont, two very well-coached teams. I was telling someone the other day, I sound like a broken record, but we just keep going up against these phenomenal coaches, and Jeff Neubauer is no different. And they're all different in their systems in terms of the way their teams play. But I think, yes, getting those two wins were big for us. It was great to get back home against Northeastern and play in front of our fans. And then on Sunday, it was a quick turnaround for us. We don't like to schedule one-day preps like that, but it kind of worked out that way in scheduling because of the way the days fell. And I think our guys did a really nice job of turning the page from Friday night's game, getting some stuff done in practice on Saturday. It was much more of a mental day than a physical day. And then responding to adversity on Sunday at Belmont in front of a hostile crowd. Although I was really, really pleased and happy with all of our fans that came. I mean, that was something that, I think, again, it's not something that we're entitled to or that we expect, but it's certainly something we're grateful for.
Coach, Rick Byrd thanked you personally for taking your program to Nashville to play on the road. Is that something that's going to remain important to you as VCU gains prominence because you realize how difficult it is to get opponents to come here now?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate Coach Byrd saying that, but I don't think we were doing them a favor at all. Their program doesn't take a back seat to anybody. Last year that was, Scott can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was either our first or second best RPI win, beating Belmont. So, that's a terrific program. They've been to the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. They'll have a legitimate chance to do it again this year. It kind of works out this way. It's interesting. Eastern Kentucky was picked to win that league, and Belmont was picked second. So we play them on back-to-back days. But I'm appreciative of Coach Byrd for playing. And, both of our programs have this in common. Scheduling is hard, and not a lot of people want to play.
Coach, can you talk about Eastern Kentucky likes to turn teams over as well?
Yes.
And maybe the premium during practice this week on hanging on the ball and what you guys are talking about in relation to that this week.
Well, Jeff Neubauer has really, really changed the way he approaches coaching, and that's another mark of a terrific coach. And that he's obviously a John Beilein disciple, and they still do some of the things offensively that he took from working with Coach Beilein, but he's really, really changed defensively. I mean, almost night and day, and they deny a lot of passes very aggressively. They really, get after the ball, and they're more like us in terms of aggressiveness. They force a lot of turnovers, steal the ball all the time. The thing that's really impressive about them is they take care of the ball. I think they're only averaging like 10 turnovers a game. So the thing about turnovers is it's not so much the total number. It's the margin. Do you give away a lot less than you take? And the last couple of years, we've done a really nice job of that. They're better than us at it right now. We'll get better over the course of the year. We turn the ball over too much right now, but we'll improve.
How do you guys curb the turnovers? You said they're up a little bit. You guys have been really good with them the last few years. How do you curb that a little bit?
Well, just an emphasis on taking care of the ball. It's been something that's been very important to us. I think we've got a lot of guys that at times have tried to hit the home run, make a home run play instead of a single or a double. And sometimes when you go for a home run play, it doesn't work out, and it ends in a turnover. So I don't think the intentions are bad at all. I think a guy like Melvin Johnson, he's got great intentions. He wants to help the team. He wants to make a good play. But he needs to realize that sometimes the easiest thing or the best way to help the team is just to make that easy pass.
How do you think he's coming along? Where do you think he's at right now?
I think he's making progress. His assist to turnover ratio is very good. It was good last year. And I think it would be even higher this year if we shot a little bit better percentage from outside, which will come. Statistically, he's doing pretty well. He needs to continue to get better on the defensive end. Not in terms of stealing the ball. I mean, that's really what everyone looks at, but in terms of guarding his man and helping our team reach our goal on defense, which is quite simply getting a stop, team stops. The other area where he just needs to continue to improve, and it's just going to take time, is intangibles, point guard intangibles. And, you know, for Darius, those things really came naturally. He just had a natural inclination towards the team ego. You know, it was all about the team, and not that Briante's not about the team, but he needs to continue to learn, how do I make this guy, make that guy better, and that will come in time. I think he's about where we thought he would be.